Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano tonight is facing a storm of protests over her department's view on domestic terrorism. Now, she is refusing to criticize a Homeland Security report that links right-wing extremists with military veterans, supporters of border security, and advocates for gun rights. Napolitano offered an apology of sorts to veterans. Critics say that apology does not go far enough. Bill Tucker reports.
Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano tried to clear up the controversy surrounding her department's report regarding the threat potential of domestic right-wing extremist groups. Single-issue groups such as anti-abortion activists, groups focused on illegal immigration or Second Amendment rights, and military veterans all were mentioned as groups vulnerable to recruitment by right-wing extremists in the report. Veterans who pledged their lives to defend the United States were especially stunned. So without disavowing the report, Secretary Napolitano explained on CNN's American Morning.
This is an assessment, not an accusation, as the Veterans of Foreign Wars organization released yesterday. But I know that some veterans groups were offended by the fact that veterans were mentioned in this assessment. So I apologize for that offense. It was certainly not intended. I'll be meeting with the leaders of some of those groups next week.
A spokesman for one veterans group said he understands the department's intent.
We believe it was a poorly written report. It should have included not only military veterans who are possibly targets for extreme right group recruitment, but it could have included SWAT teams, police teams, FBI, the own ICE agents coming out of Department of Homeland Security themselves.
DHS issued a statement on why domestic threat assessment is necessary, but added, quote, "We do not, nor will we ever, monitor ideology or political beliefs." But that statement failed to reassure groups opposed to the liberalization of immigration policy and focused on gun control.
When House Speaker Pelosi said immigration enforcement was un-American, and then you see a document like this published by the Department of Homeland Security, you see what is fusing into a modern-day version of the Un-American Activities Committee.
If Richard Nixon had published a profile of his political opponents like this, an enemies list like this, why, he would have been out of office before he was.
President Nixon did have such a list, and when it was uncovered and published, it unleashed a fury in the media.
Now, the report says current political and economic conditions pose the threat of domestic terrorism like that seen in the 1990s in Oklahoma City. But critics say the report is nothing more than an attempt by DHS to crush free speech through condemnation and intimidation. A department spokeswoman late this afternoon conceded that there are or were objections to parts of the report from the department's Civil Rights and Civil Liberties Office. But, Kitty, she refused to be specific about what they might be.
So what? There's
we
no.
We don't know. We know that there were problems and that Civil Rights, Civil Liberties had objections, but the report, which was not intended to be issued publicly, it was meant to go to law enforcement, came out anyway.
All right. Thanks very much, Bill. Bill Tucker.